Three streams of white light. In the past, there was a person who lived in a remote mountainous area, so from a young age he was never educated, never heard of Buddhism, and only knew how to be frugal and do his duty to pass his human life. Because the blessings are so few, even when old, they are still poor and miserable. At the age of 60, after half a year of illness, he was completely emaciated and weak. Knowing that he would not live long in this world, he called his two children to his bedside to give him final instructions. He told his eldest son, "Your younger brother is still very young, he already knows how to work, you must carefully take care of him, you must maintain the responsibilities of the eldest brother." A few days later, he left this world, leaving the suffering that made his two children sad and cry for a while. 3 years later, the older brother married a young girl from the same village. This girl is also uneducated and does not know brotherly love. Seeing her husband treat her younger sister well, she was dissatisfied. She often told her husband, "How about we give your younger brother a few things in the house and tell him to make a living for himself? Right now he's still young, of course there's no way to do it, tomorrow he'll be very troublesome when he grows up, I want to chase him away, but I'm not sure if he'll be willing to go." But the older brother still had the simple affection of a mountain person. And still clearly remembered his father's will, so every time he heard his wife say something like that, he covered his ears and shook his head repeatedly. The proverb is true, near the light, it's bright, near the ink, it's black. Living all day near a wife with an evil mind, taking advantage of every opportunity to say cruel words over and over again, gradually his brother was trained, how could he not turn evil? The false words that were repeated over and over again became true, and eventually the older brother, like his wife, began to hate the younger one. One day, the older brother listened to his wife and took the younger brother to a cemetery very far from the city. It is a very scary place, because according to Indian custom, when a person dies, the corpse is thrown there for the birds and animals to peck at and eat. The cemetery is very gloomy, white bones are scattered, there is always the mournful cry of birds like the sound of demons crying in hell. Inside, the gloomy atmosphere of the cemetery makes people shiver. Deeper inside, there is a conifer tree that reaches up to the clouds. Its tangled branches and leaves covering the entire ravine. The older brother took out a rope he had brought with him, tied the younger brother up, then hung it on a large tree branch. While tying him, he told the younger brother, "It's not that I'm cruel, but to be honest, you make me worry too much. Stay here and think carefully about what I'm saying. I'll come pick you up in a few days." Having finished speaking, the older brother turned around and ran back home, not paying attention to his brother's pitiful cries and pleas. In fact, the brother was very conflicted, his love for his sister was suppressed by his wife's stern voice and facial expressions. He was very miserable but did not have the strength to oppose his wife. Well, let him bet on his fate. If he escapes from the mouth of the tiger and wolf, then he will be blessed, but if not, then his fate will be considered as such. That's how I treat him. That's already very compassionate, instead of listening to my wife, take a knife and kill him. On the way home, the older brother thought like that to reassure himself. It gradually gets dark. In the pitch-black night, the mournful cries of birds became more and more frequent. Then there were more strange mixed sounds echoing, as if signaling that demons were about to appear. As the night deepened, tigers, leopards, lions, and wolves also continuously came, roaring each time as if wanting to capture people's souls. Green eyes, greedy and cruel, focused towards the base of the ancient tree. Up on the tree, the younger brother tried his best to struggle and cry, "Help me! Oh my God! Oh my God! Help me! Help me!" It screamed like a madman until blood flowed from its mouth. At that moment, in the distant city of Rajagaha, Buddha Shakyamuni was residing in Vajrasamadhi. He heard the poor child's cries, and clearly saw the dangerous situation he was in, so he used his divine power to release a beam of light from between his eyebrows that eye and the cemetery. Suddenly a strange white light shined, causing the creepy, gloomy ravine to suddenly light up. The ferocious wild beasts were shown by the white light, retreating step by step, some of them turned and ran to their death. There was another, stronger stream of white light shining straight towards the rope on the younger brother's body. As if it had been hit by a strong fire or a sharp knife, the rope crackled and broke piece by piece. Next, there was a third stream of white light, gently shining on the younger brother's body. It was as if he was paralyzed and fell to the ground, in pain and fainting. Suddenly it felt like someone was gently patting it, making it feel strangely relaxed. "I'm so pitiful, what should I do?" A gentle and kind voice rang in my ears. He woke up and had a strange feeling that made all the pain in his body disappear. Looking up, he saw a tall and dignified man standing in front of him, who gently looked at him and smiled. Too surprised, he hesitated and didn't know what to say. You are, I am Buddha. Captain. Buddha. I vow to become a Buddha like you to save myself and save others." The 5-inch child fell to the ground and bowed his head. The Buddha gave him refuge and brought him to Rajagaha. From then on, the younger brother lived in the Sangha, practiced together with the Buddha's disciples, listened to sutras and heard the Dharma, and not long after realized the Dharma of non-birth forbearance. After the younger brother attained enlightenment, he remembered his brother very much. He came before the Buddha and said, "World-honored one. Even though my brother had the intention of harming me, thanks to that, I was able to meet the Buddha and be saved by the Buddha. So, my today's achievements are thanks to my brother. Now I want to go back and save him, so I ask the world-honored one for permission to be absent for a while." "Very good. I greatly appreciate your opinion." The younger brother then used his magical powers to fly back to his brother's house. His sister-in-law saw it and quickly ran into the house to hide. She thought that her younger brother was harmed but did not die, so now she has come back to take revenge. Brothers and sisters, you don't need to run away. I don't resent you at all, but I also want to thank you. Thanks to you, I met my teacher, Buddha, attained enlightenment, and escaped birth and death. I especially came back here to thank you. I also hope that you can practice Buddhism to soon escape suffering. Our property, wealth, and even our lives in this world are very impermanent. If we do everything we can to pursue them, even if we get them, one day they will leave us. Think carefully, is there anything that truly belongs to us? Let them go and use your mind and energy to pursue them for the pursuit of Buddha Dharma, because that is the true treasure. This treasure is truly eternal and never lost, bringing us wealth and joy. Those words made the older couple wake up from a dream, especially the younger brother's generosity, not complaining about past mistakes but also worrying about their happiness. That was the strength that helped them have the courage to repent of their sins. After arranging the family and home, the three of them walked side by side towards Truck Lam Tin XA.
Thank you for spending your valuable time on my channel journey to enlightenment. Wishing you a very peaceful and happy day. Don't forget to click like and subscribe to my support channel. See you in the next video.